Welcome to Technocamp's Atom Modeling Workshop. Today, what we're going to be going through is how to make atom models in Scratch, starting with the simplest versions. But first, what are atoms? Well, atoms are the tiny building blocks of the universe. Everything, more or less, is made up of atoms, and each atom usually represented in something that looks like this. You'll have a nucleus in the middle. The nucleus houses a proton or a number of protons depending on the atom we're looking at, and a number of neutrons. And then outside, orbiting that nucleus, we have electrons. Okay, now depending on the atom we're looking at, there might be 1, there might be 10, there might be more than that. But the number of electrons and protons, as long as the atom is stable, will be the same as each other. They'll be equal to each other. The number of neutrons can change, but they aren't, for the basis of what we're talking about, they aren't really important. Okay? And we're going to start off with something called hydrogen. It'll end up looking something like this. And hydrogen is the lightest, most abundant. There's more hydrogen than anything else in the universe. What we're going to do throughout this workshop is we're going to make the sprites. We'll have 1 for the electron, 1 for the proton, and 2 for the neutrons. We're going to make the electron move in a circle and an orbit, so to speak, around our nucleus. And we're going to use the pen tool to actually draw that out, so you can actually trace out what our orbit will look like. And then, as an extension, you guys can try and make bigger, heavier atoms. Okay, here we are at Scratch. It's your basic starting screen. The first one we do is make our sprite. So we're going to have electron, proton, and a neutron sprite. First things first, we have to get rid of our cat. And down here underneath, we have this blue box, says sprite 1, and we have the bin. We're going to click that and get rid of it. There's 2 ways we can make our sprites. The first way, and maybe the easiest way, is to hover over here, click choose sprite, and choose the ball. And we can then duplicate that. So I want 1 for the neutron, duplicate 1 for the electron, and I'm going to duplicate 1 for the proton as well. Okay, now that I have my 3 sprites, click on the first one. Notice it's highlighted blue, and go to costume up here, top left hand corner, and then I can choose the color, I can change the few different things about it. So I'm just going to stick with the same size and shape, but I'm going to change the color. I'm going to go for a blue color. Okay, so this one will be my proton. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of all the other colors and just leave me with the blue. And what I can do now is down here, notice this is still highlighted, this is the blue one. I'm going to change this to say proton. That way I keep track of it. Next one, this one, click now, notice it changes now, I'm a different one. This is going to be our electron, slightly different order. This time I'm going to change the name. Tron, and I'm going to change the color. This one I'm going to change electron to green. There we go, that'll do. And then last one, then we're going to change the name to say neutron. And this time, before I change the color, actually no, I'm going to change the color first. So let's go with a pink color for my neutrons, like so. And this time, I'm going to make sure I'm on the select tool, draw a box around it, click copy here, and then paste. Now I have 2 of the same shape. I'll actually zoom out a little bit so I can get a better look at what I'm doing. And I'm going to layer them something like that. That'll do. Again, draw a big box around them and group them. And notice now that we've got this blue cross in the middle, I want to make sure that this blue cross here lines up with this cross in the middle. Okay. Now, usually, depending on what you're doing, this won't actually be important. And it won't be all that important for this, but if I was doing any changes to my electron, which we'll go over in just a second, then having it in the middle would be important. Okay, and if I want to make any changes, I would just highlight the whole thing again, ungroup, and now I can move them about independently. So something with birthday. Okay, doesn't mean that. And just make sure everything is centered again, group them, there we go. Okay, so that's one way you can make your 3 sprites. You've now got my neutrons, my electron, and my proton. The other way to do it would be to hover, don't click, just go to paint. Now you can make your own sprites. And you can go down here, choose the circle, and holding down the shift key, you can make perfect circles. Okay, circle, then you can use the fill tool here to change the color to what you want. Maybe lime green color, that'll do. And we can use this tool here to give it a fade effect. Okay, I'm going to swap between 2 colors. Say, let's try a green and a blue. So pale blue, like so, and then I could make that could be one of my sprites. Okay, there's 2 ways of doing it. This time, however, if I'm making my own sprite, then I need to make sure they are centered. Ones that we get from the library down here, like we did with these ones, they will automatically be centered. If I'm drawing my own sprite, I need to make sure that they are centered. So what I would do, select tool, highlight the whole thing, and then make sure this blue cross in the middle lines up with that crosshairs there. Okay. Now for this particular task, the only one we really need to be centered is our electron. This is the only one that's going to be moving. But if you were doing something else, doing a different project, or maybe these guys were going to move as well, then you'd want to make sure that everything is centered. Usually, best practice is make sure that everything is centered when you're making your own sprites. Okay? So I delete that because I don't need it. And then go back to code over here. I'll back to my programming space. And then what I need to do is make sure that everything in here is about the right size. Okay, now thankfully in nature, just the way things tend to happen, neutrons and protons are roughly the same size. And for the matter of this, we can say that they are exactly the same size. Electrons, however, are about half as big as the proton. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to take the electron. Notice I've highlighted this now, so I'm only messing about with my electron, not my proton. And my neutron, just click down here. And I'm going to change the size. It says in 100, I'm going to change it to 50. So now, my electron is half the size of my proton. Okay, so I can put this wherever I want for now. And I'm going to set up my protons and neutrons right in the middle of my screen. Okay, and there's 2 ways to do this. You can do it by eye, and you try and say, right, that's about the middle there. Or you can use these X and Y coordinates down here. This scratch box here, this programming window, it works off a grid system. So everything in the top right hand corner is positive X and positive Y. Everything down here is positive X and negative Y. Down here is negative X and negative Y. And over here is negative X but positive Y. If I wanted right in the middle, it would be X is 0, Y is 0. And I'm going to put my proton right in the middle of the screen. That's the middle. And then I'm going to match up the neutrons how I want. Okay. Sometimes you'll end up, depending on which one you click last, you'll end up with them the wrong way around. Just click your proton, move that a little bit, and there we go. Okay. And you can play about and make sure they're exactly in the middle and exactly where you want them to be. But you know what? That looks fine. Okay, now I've got my nucleus and I have my electron that is going around and around and around. In the next video, what we're going to go over is how to actually make this electron go around in what would look like an orbit. Okay, so if you want to have a go at that yourself, be my guest. When you're ready, click the next video and we'll go over how to make our electron orbit our nucleus.